NHL All-Star Weekend in Toronto?
I'm getting to enjoy this with the people that kind of got me to where I am today. Enjoying this just whole experience with them, and obviously having it in the hotel is pretty special. And winning.
And what would you want to say to the fans in Toronto?
Again, thank you for all the support throughout the year and just this weekend. It was just amazing to see the support that we had for this weekend. Just really all the fan base. It's a lot of love to us. I really appreciate it.
Mitch Marner posted a short Christmas message on December 25th during the NHL holiday break. Maple Leafs fans noticed immediately. The message came during the NHL break. The team was off the ice. The standings were clear. No team was named. Still, coverage pointed back to Toronto within hours of the post. In the message, he shared a simple holiday wish. He said he wished for a long playoff run. The statement appeared during the NHL's Christmas break, when no regular games are played. At the time, Marner was not a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was playing for the Vegas Golden Knights. Marner spent many seasons with the Maple Leafs before leaving the team. He joined Vegas during the 2025 offseason. His departure ended a long period in Toronto, where he was one of the team's top scorers. During his years with the Leafs, Marner recorded multiple 90-plus point seasons. He was a regular playoff participant with the team. The Maple Leafs, however, struggled to move deep into the playoffs during those years. They reached the postseason several times but did not advance far. That history is well known and often discussed in hockey coverage. When Marner's Christmas message became public, several hockey news outlets reported that many readers viewed it as directed toward Toronto. The message did not mention the Maple Leafs by name. It did not reference past teammates. It did not describe events in Toronto. Still, its timing drew attention. At the Christmas break, the Maple Leafs were near the bottom of the Eastern Conference standing. Team performance reports showed issues in multiple areas. Their goals against numbers were high. Their 5-on-5 play ranked low in league tracking. Their power play had struggled through large parts of the season. Reports published before Christmas described the Leafs' power play as underperforming. After a loss to the Washington Capitals earlier in December, head coach Craig Berube addressed the issue publicly. He said the power play was not good. He also spoke about effort levels in games. The team entered the holiday break with pressure already present. Analysts had discussed possible roster changes. Media reports noted that uncomfortable conversations could take place if results did not improve. These reports were released days before Marner's message. As Marner's Christmas wish circulated online, fan reactions appeared quickly. Hockey blogs and fan pages published responses within hours. Many posts described strong reactions from Leafs supporters. Comments appeared across social platforms. Some fans expressed frustration. Others referenced past playoff seasons. Several fan pages tracked the speed of the reaction. According to reports, Marner's message gained more attention than many holiday posts from NHL players. Screenshots of the statement were shared widely. Discussion threads grew throughout December 25th and December 26th. Because the message was short and general, there was no official clarification. Marner did not add follow-up comments. He did not explain what team he meant. He did not issue another statement after the reaction began. Sports news outlets described the situation as another moment linking Marner's past with Toronto's present. Articles referenced his playoff history with the Leafs. They also referenced the team's current standings. Some reports focused on fan emotion. Others focused on timing. Christmas break is one of the few pauses in the NHL season. Media coverage continues, even when games stop. Player comments often receive more attention during this period. The Maple Leafs season has included brief winning stretches. They also experienced long periods of inconsistency. Before the break, the team had welcomed some players back from injury. They also recorded a win shortly before Christmas. Even with that win, standings data showed the Leafs near the bottom of the conference. Analysts noted that improvement was needed in both offense and defense. The team's expected goals numbers remained below league average. As discussion continued, some outlets highlighted that Marner's message did not break any rules. Players often share holiday wishes. The reaction came from interpretation rather than direct accusation. The message itself stayed unchanged. The words remained the same. The context around it grew. By December 26th, coverage expanded. Articles connected Marner's comment to Toronto's season story. Fan reaction pieces were reposted across aggregator sites. Social media continued to circulate screenshots. At the same time, league schedules showed the Leafs preparing to return to play in early January. The break would end soon. New games would provide updated results. Before the break, media reports stated that the Maple Leafs management remained focused on evaluation. Performance trends would guide future decisions. Those reports did not mention Marner direct. Still, his Christmas message became part of the conversation. It arrived at a moment when the team faced pressure. It arrived while fans were watching closely. It arrived during a pause when news spreads faster. As the NHL season moves forward, updated standings and statistics will replace holiday reaction. But for one day after Christmas, a short message from a former star shifted attention back to Toronto and its ongoing season story.
How hot is the seat on the coach Craig Berube in your estimation?
I mean, it's quite hot. I don't know if you've seen the news, it's just breaking now, but his assistant coach, Mark Savard, has been fired by the team. You know, obviously, under Savard's watch is the power play, and that's been, I'd say, one of the main issues that's led to where the Leafs record is right now. And, you know, obviously, management is in a position where they don't want to fire Craig Berube.
Toronto Maple Leafs made a move that no one inside the locker room could ignore. One coach was removed. Responsibility shifted fast. Numbers exposed a collapse that could not be defended. A power play fell to the bottom of the league, and patience ended quietly but firmly. This decision sent a message, and its real impact had only just begun to unfold. The Toronto Maple Leafs confirmed they have fired assistant coach Mark Savard during the middle of the regular season. The announcement followed a stretch of poor results and a sharp decline in special teams performance. Savard had been responsible for the team's power play, which ranked last in the National Hockey League at the time of the decision. Savard joined the Maple Leafs coaching staff in June 2024. He was hired as part of head coach Craig Berube's staff after Berube took over the team earlier that offseason. The hiring reunited Savard with Berube, as the two had previously worked together with the St. Louis Blues during the 2019-20 season. At the time, Savard was dismissed. The team was positioned near the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings and sat last in the Atlantic Division. Over their previous 6 games, Toronto posted a 1-4-1 record, adding to mounting pressure around the club's performance. The power play played a central role in the coaching change. Toronto's unit was converting at a rate of 13.3%, the lowest mark in the league. During the month of December, the team scored just 2 power play goals across 27 opportunities. In one recent stretch, the Leafs went scoreless on 10 consecutive power play chances during a road trip. This season's numbers represented a sharp drop from the previous year. During the 2024 to 2025 season, the Maple Leafs power play finished at 24.8%, ranking 9th in the NHL. That unit featured many of the same core players now struggling to produce with the man advantage. The decision came shortly after a 5-1 loss to the Dallas Stars. In that game, Toronto again failed to generate offense on special teams. Days earlier, the Washington Capitals shut out the Maple Leafs 4-0, ending Toronto's streak of 71 consecutive games without being shut out. In that matchup, the Leafs went 0 for 5 on the power play. Following Savard's dismissal, the Maple Leafs did not announce an external replacement. Instead, the organization stated that assistant coaches Derek Lalonde and Mike Van Ryn would absorb the power play responsibilities moving forward. The team indicated no immediate plans to expand the coaching staff. Savard's departure marked the first coaching change of the season for Toronto. The move came just before the club's final game ahead of the holiday break, with the team scheduled to face the Pittsburgh Penguins next. Tension now shifted toward how the internal changes would impact results on the ice and whether further decisions would follow. Mark Savard's firing closed a short but closely watched chapter in his coaching career. Before joining Toronto, Savard had stepped away from coaching in September 2020 to focus on family matters. His return with the Maple Leafs marked his first NHL coaching role since that departure. The organization assigned him responsibility for offensive structure and power play execution, areas that later became central to the decision to remove him. The team's struggles were not limited to one opponent or one road trip. Over a 6-game stretch in December, Toronto collected only 1 point in the standing. That run included losses by multiple goals and games in which the Maple Leafs failed to score more than once. During that span, the power play did not register consistent improvement. Head coach Craig Berube addressed the situation following recent losses, stating that the team's execution had not met required standards. While Berube did not publicly assign blame to any single individual, the coaching change indicated an internal shift in responsibility. Savard's role was directly tied to the unit producing the weakest results on the roster. After the decision, the Maple Leafs confirmed that Derek Lalonde and Mike Van Ryn would manage special teams duties moving forward. Lalonde previously worked with power play units during his coaching career, while Van Ryn remained responsible for defensive systems. The organization did not announce structural changes beyond the redistribution of duty. The timing of the move placed focus on the remaining schedule before the midseason break. Toronto entered its next matchup with a need to stabilize performance before falling further behind in the standing. The coaching staff now operated with fewer voices behind the bench and increased scrutiny on in-game adjustments. Savard's exit also followed a pattern seen across the league, where teams have made assistant-level changes rather than head coach moves during early or mid-season downturns. In Toronto's case, the decision underscored the importance placed on immediate results. With no external hire announced, attention remained on how quickly internal changes could affect outcomes, and whether the move would be the last adjustment made during a season already marked by instability.
With Marty Bureau. Marty, here's an observation I've made. Nothing seems to come easy for this Maple Leafs team.
Another hit, another name added to the list, and suddenly the Toronto Maple Leafs are facing a situation they did not plan for. A key defenseman goes down mid-game. The starting goalie is ruled out again. Roster moves follow fast. The lineup shifts under pressure, and what comes next could change how the Leafs survive this stretch. The warning signs appeared during the game against the San Jose Sharks. Oliver Ekman-Larsson left the ice in the third period after his left ankle bent awkwardly during a play behind the net. He did not return. Teammates helped him off the ice. The Maple Leafs confirmed after the game that Ekman-Larsson would be evaluated further, with no immediate timeline announced. Before leaving the game, Ekman-Larsson had logged under 14 minutes of ice time. At that point in the season, he had already recorded 4 goals and 16 assists in 29 games. That total placed him among the top-scoring defensemen on the Toronto roster. His exit immediately reduced the team's available defensive options during the final stretch of the game. Head coach Craig Berube addressed the injury following the matchup. He said the team would need more information before making any decisions. No confirmation was given on whether Ekman-Larsson would travel with the team or miss upcoming games. The uncertainty added pressure to a defense group that was already stretched thin. The timing made the situation more serious. Chris Tanev had already been out since early November due to a head and neck injury. Brandon Carlo had undergone lower body surgery and was ruled out for several weeks. Dakota Mermis was also sidelined with a knee injury. With Ekman-Larsson leaving mid-game, Toronto was suddenly without multiple regular defensemen at the same time. While the defense absorbed another blow, the goaltending situation brought more bad news. Joseph Woll was placed on injured reserve with a lower body injury. The move was made retroactive to December 4th. Woll had exited a previous game against Carolina after 2 periods and did not return. The team confirmed he would not be available for the immediate schedule ahead. In response, Toronto recalled goaltender Artur Akhtiamov from the AHL's Toronto Marlies. The move came as Anthony Stolarz was also unavailable due to injury. That left Dennis Hildeby carrying the workload in net. Hildeby stepped in during Woll's absence and recorded 33 saves in a shootout loss to Montreal. He later earned his first NHL shutout with 29 saves against Tampa Bay. These developments forced the Maple Leafs into constant adjustments. Defensive pairings changed, goaltender roles shifted, and with no clear return dates for multiple players, the team entered its next stretch without stability. What happens next depends on evaluations, roster decisions, and how long this injury list continues to grow. The pressure did not stop at the blue line or in the crease. The injury injury situation began to affect how the Maple Leafs managed games, shifts, and matchups. With multiple regular defensemen unavailable, Toronto relied on depth players to fill roles normally handled by veterans. Those players were asked to take on extended minutes against top opposing lines, changing the structure of each period. Reuters confirmed that Hildeby stopped 29 shots to record his first NHL shutout in a 2-0 win over the Lightning. That performance followed a shootout loss to Montreal, where he made 33 saves. Those games took place while Woll remained unavailable, and Akhtiamov served as insurance on the roster. The injury list created uncertainty heading into upcoming matchups. Sportsnet reported that Woll was not expected to play in the next game against Edmonton. That decision removed the possibility of a quick return and confirmed that Toronto would continue with an altered goaltending plan. At the same time, Ekman-Larsson's status remained unclear. Sportsnet reported that early evaluations suggested the injury might not be as serious as first feared, but no confirmation was provided. The team waited for further testing before determining whether he could return to practice or game action. Craig Berube acknowledged that the team had to manage day-to-day decisions based on health updates. Roster moves, recalls, and lineup changes became necessary as the season continued. Each update carried weight because of how many players were already sidelined. As the Maple Leafs moved forward, the situation stayed fluid. Injuries affected both ends of the ice. Depth players stayed in critical roles. And every evaluation, every practice decision, and every game lineup carried added importance as Toronto tried to hold position while waiting for clarity that still had not arrived.
Well, it definitely does give the team confidence for sure, and knowing that he's back there doing his job above and beyond, making the saves and giving us an opportunity to win a game. Kind of like just rubs, it just goes down the team and gives you more confidence to do things up the ice.
Something changed inside the Toronto Maple Leafs locker room, and it hit faster than anyone expected. A team that looked stalled only weeks ago suddenly tore through 3 playoff teams on the road, stacking goals, silencing crowds, and shifting its entire identity. Craig Berube didn't just steady the room, he flipped it, and what happened next pushed the story even deeper. The Toronto Maple Leafs entered December in a far different position than where they stand now. Their November record of 6-6-2 showed a stretch filled with early losses and a brief losing streak that slowed their momentum. Pressure grew as the team slipped toward the lower end of the Eastern Conference standing. Yet within days, something inside the group shifted, and the change appeared in ways the scoreboard made clear. Toronto went on the road and defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Florida Panthers, and the Carolina Hurricanes. Each of these teams held a playoff spot when the Leafs faced them. Toronto outscored these opponents 16-4 across the 3 games, leaving little space for doubt about the quality of their play. The wins came with control in all 3 zones, and they came fast enough to mark a visible break from the previous month. A photograph from Raleigh showed Austin Matthews celebrating a goal in the second period at Lenovo Center. The credit line stated, "James Galori Imagine Images," and the moment reflected how key players contributed to the shift. The reporting noted that Austin Matthews, William Nylander, John Tavares, among others, all are helping the cause, and those names stayed active across each matchup. Their presence supported the team's broader turnaround during this stretch. Craig Berube's impact appeared across several layers of play. The coverage stated that Toronto beat these opponents in good fashion with no sweat by it nor any kind of nervousness, and that reflected the confidence building inside the lineup. The team won puck battles, generated clutch scoring, and created stronger power play and penalty kill sequences. These developments supported the factual description that the last few games for Toronto have gone about as well as they and head coach Berube could have hoped for. The 3-game performance aligned with another line from the report. The last 3 games for the Maple Leafs have shown the full team effort that they had been hoping to show since the season's beginning. That sentence captured the measurable improvement across the group. Toronto opened December 2-0, and early season concerns shifted as the wins continued to grow, leaving more focus on what these results might lead to next. Craig Craig Berube's structure carried into the story as well. The coverage noted that he is turning things around for this team, tying the coaching approach to the improved results. The team displayed steadier spacing and more synchronized defensive support. These facts came from descriptions inside the articles and aligned with the documented results rather than interpretation. Each game in the streak showed clearer alignment between roster roles and on-ice decisions, reflecting the system Berube set in place. The reporting also emphasized the timing of the shift. It stated, "It took a bit for this to all be figured out for them, but it seems like it all came together now." This detail marked how long the process lasted before the streak formed. It also connected the early season challenges to the more structured play shown in December. Toronto's ability to generate consistent scoring, limit goals against, and perform effectively against playoff teams built factual support for the idea that their season had entered a new phase. The Maple Leafs' location in the standings added tension to the moment. The article pointed out they were towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings, making each point gained during the streak significant. The reporting added, "If they can keep putting together complete performances like the last 3 games, watch out for them." That line reflected a factual statement from the article, and it captured the attention surrounding what the team might produce next as their schedule